to Topic A, everyone. I'm your host, Gary Perna. This week on Topic A, I'm joined by Charlie Hentz. He's a community safety instructor at Luzerne County Community College and a friend of our program here. He's been on a time or two talking about protecting yourself. Now, he's talking about the best way to protect yourself and others in a crowded situation if violence would occur. We're going to talk all about it on this presentation of Topic A, so stay with us. We'll be right back here on WYLN.
All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is honored to serve you during the Memorial Day sales event. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $169 a month, or get up to $13,731 off a 2018 Ram 1500 Crew Cab during the Jeep Celebration event at All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, or online at allamericanjeep.net.
Watch Off the Beaten Path on WYLN TV 35 and discover the Pennsylvania you never knew existed. Monday, June 11th at 7:30 p.m., the United States Air Force Heritage of America Band will be hosting a concert at the Wiltsey Center on North Wyoming Street in Hazleton. This concert by the Heritage Winds will be a free concert featuring the world's finest active duty musicians performing modern woodwind compositions and classic favorites for all to enjoy. Monday, June 11th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are free and available at Boscov's at the Laurel Mall and also could be printed from evenbright.com.
In a world where an instant tweet can create a firestorm of news coverage, WYLN is moving with the times, allowing for more instant reporting of breaking news on television and on social media, as well as regular hourly news updates. News gets out faster than ever before, and WYLN brings it all to you. Live weekdays at 5:30 only on WYLN. We're your local network.
And welcome back to Topic A here on WYLN, everyone. I'm Gary Perna. Very pleased to have Charlie Hentz with me. Charlie, a few years ago, you came to the show and talked about self-defense and ways to arm yourself with everyday items and stuff that's in your homes of how to protect yourself in your first line of defense. A few weeks ago, you reached back out to me and said, hey, listen, we came up with this new program. We're offering it through Luzerne. And this is kind of a little different than what I was used to talking to you about. This is really how you could protect yourself in large areas and how maybe churches and organizations can learn how to protect themselves in case of an event would happen. So first of all, thanks for coming back on.
I thank you for having me, Gary. It's a pleasure. The last time we spoke was before Booty Beltrami.
Yes. Yeah.
And Booty passed away, unfortunately. And we spoke here on the show about the National Rifle Association Refuse to Be a Victim program, which is a segue into this because that program teaches individuals how to develop a plan to thwart people from attacking them.
Right.
Well, I started teaching at Luzerne, and I also started receiving some phone calls from different churches and community groups who were concerned about security for their congregations and their employees and their people in their buildings and their facility as a result of the mass shootings that have been occurring in churches and in other facilities in schools throughout the country. So we developed a seminar to explain what is available and how these things happen, how to secure your property.
Right.
And we really developed a seminar because the first time it happened at my church. We had a meeting and everybody was talking about arming themselves with a firearm. Well, I'm a firearms instructor, and I looked at all these people and I thought, I just don't feel comfortable with these folks sitting in church with guns, and nobody knows the law. Nobody knows really how to use a firearm tactically. Nobody has been involved in a pressure situation. And I thought, this is dangerous. This should not be the weapon of first choice. This should be the weapon of last choice. So these people don't know what is available to them on the market, civilian stuff, to make their building safer. And they don't know, they haven't analyzed what and why people engage in these violent acts. So we did the research, and we came up with this seminar, and we can give it in about an hour and a half, but it is a 3-hour seminar. It's called Violence in Society: How to Analyze, Mitigate, and Prevent It. You can't prevent all violence, but you can prepare yourself to protect yourself. You know, some people are sheep, some people are sheepdogs, and some people are wolves. The average person is a sheep. They wander around, they snuffle here and there, they feed here, they feed there, and they actually try to get away from the sheepdogs. Guys like me, we're sheepdogs. We spend our lives watching out for the sheep. We have a plan. We train. When I was in the Marine Corps, I kind of felt like I was a sheepdog for the country. Now the sheep are always trying to get away, and we're always trying to gather them for their safety, except when the wolves come around. When the wolves come around, the sheep, they bay and they get together, and they expect the sheepdogs to protect them. In this violent society, with these people, these aggressive shooters in schools and in facilities, people are going to have to learn how to plan to protect themselves.
And you're right. And we've seen a lot of this happen more and more over the last few years with school shootings, church shootings, and the conversation of, you know, being able to protect yourself with firearms, what can and can't be done, how buildings are now, you know, most public buildings you walk into now have metal detectors or some type of security. But one of the places you don't see that, and maybe one of the most vulnerable places, as you said, are churches and places of worship. And having, you know, groups of people come together and say, you know, how can we best protect ourselves? You know, it has become more at the forefront than ever before. So having a program like this with some people who are very knowledgeable, you have 27 years in law enforcement, you come to say, this is a plan we need to follow. Having this course available now it is tremendous for especially those organizations.
Absolutely. The average facility, the average school, the average church that thinks they are secure, when we go in to take a look at it, they're about as secure, they're secure to prevent tradesmen or people who want to vandalize the place from coming in. But they're not secure against an aggressive shooter. Gary, aggressive shooters are crazy. They're not stupid. Our problem is the people who are planning to protect our schools and our churches who have no experience think these people are stupid. They're not. I'm going to tell you a story about a 14-year-old. You haven't heard about this 14-year-old. None of the people here watching this show have heard about this 14-year-old because he was only successful by shooting one 6th grader. This 14-year-old's from down south, and he decided he wanted to be the most prolific shooter of all time. He knew the names of every one of these mass shooters, and he knew how many people each one of them had shot. He decided he was going to try to shoot anywhere between 50 and 60, and if he was lucky, maybe he could get 100. He knew how long it took the police to get there. He knew how long it took the SWAT teams to get there. And here's when he started out on his plan. 14 years old. He got up in the morning. He texted his friends that he was going to be famous today. He kissed his rabbit, Flopsy, goodbye, and went downstairs and shot his father in the back of the head. Went out and got in his father's truck and drove to the school. He was going to break into the window of the second grade class, shoot everybody in the class, kill the teacher, take the keys, and go from class to class, throwing pipe bombs into each room and then shooting everybody in the room. He shot one 6th grader, and a teacher tackled him and got the gun away from him. Now, that's the type of, this 14-year-old planned this entire event. He tried to get his father's Mini 14 rifle, and it was locked up. If he had gotten his father's Mini 14, he may have been more successful. But you haven't heard about this 14-year-older because he only shot one kid. I did the research and found out, again, crazy? Yeah. Stupid? No. So you go to a school, and the principal of the school, who has a degree in education, comes up with a security plan.
Right.
Let's say we're now no longer going to run out of the building when the fire alarm goes off. We're all going to hunker down in our classrooms and wait for the teacher or wait for the principal to walk around and decide if it's safe for everybody to leave. Well, if I'm the active shooter, I'm a student at that school, I know that plan. So what do? You tell me what I do.
You're going to wait.
I'm going to go to the principal, and I'm going to get him, tell him to make the announcement, and now I've got an active environment.
We're going to take a short break right here. When we come back, we're going to talk about the program and how you can be, you can listen to it, you can get Charlie to speak at your location or up at the college. We're going to talk all about that coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Topic A.
WYLN TV 35 is looking to hire a highly motivated, energetic salesperson for the Hazleton, Wilkes-Barre, and surrounding areas. Send your resume to the email or the address on your screen. WYLN is an equal opportunity employer.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicap accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget. Restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Do you have odors and dampness in your basement and crawl space? An unhealthy home begins with problems in damp, poorly ventilated areas. The conditions down below nurture molds, dust mites, and result in a buildup of gases and pollutants that can cause serious illnesses, like asthma, emphysema, and some cancers. The pollutants work their way up to your living quarters, infecting your entire home. Wave ventilation for moisture control and air quality can solve this problem. The unit's unique technology is designed to replace the damp, stale, polluted air with dry, fresh air and maintain a healthy, comfortable environment all year round. Unlike dehumidifiers, there's no buckets of water or filters, and it costs about $3 a month in electricity. Protect your home and family. Get to the source of the problem with Wave Ventilation. Call now. Make Wave Ventilation your answer to healthy living. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Tune in each week to WYLN TV 35 to watch the #1 Hazleton-based broadcasted television talk show, The Storm, hosted by Tiffany Cloud. Candidates, politicians, community leaders, and more appear on The Storm when they want to be heard. New shows air Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and these additional airtimes. Only on WYLN TV 35, we're your local network.
back here to Topic Everyone. And Charlie, I want to start right in with talking about the program Violence in Society. You are the community safety instructor up at Luzerne County Community College. You're an Act 235 NRA program instructor. Having this program being taught or available at the college and out on the road, who are the best people to listen to this program? Where's the best place to have this program and have this conversation?
Well, first let me explain how the program came about. The program came about when I was listening to members of a congregation at my church talk about arming themselves with firearms. And I was looking at my friends and associates at the church thinking, I really would be uncomfortable with these folks arming themselves in this church because they just don't have the tactical training to engage in a gunfight with somebody who comes in the door. Well, that should be the thought in every church and in every building and in every school. Everybody carrying firearms is not the first idea to turn to. It should be the last idea to turn to. It should be the weapon of last resort. Before you talk about arming everybody, you should talk about the building security. You should talk about the things in the building you can use to secure the building. You should talk about surveillance. You should talk about gates. You should talk about all types of implements that are available. You should talk about having a plan. An example. The aggressive shooter has never been in this situation before, and neither has anybody in the congregation. So what he expects, or she expects, is everyone, say, in the congregation to run around like crazy people and become targets for him. Well, what would happen if the congregation were to train to attack the aggressive shooter? So everybody turns and attacks the aggressive shooter, except instead of screaming and running for the door. Don't you think the pandemonium would work for the congregation as the aggressive shooter thought it would work for him? So you turn the tables on him. Then you throw books at him, and you have some shields in the building that you can use. You hit him with chairs. You do all types of things to upset the aggressive shooter, but you have to have a plan. Without a plan, everybody becomes a target. So that's the first thing you have to do. The next thing everybody should really learn before they carry a firearm, when they can legally use one. You just can't shoot somebody because they come in the door and they look like they're going to be crazy. There are laws in this country, there are laws in the state of Pennsylvania, and that's one of the reasons why we teach the Lethal Weapons Training Act 235, is to teach people when they can use force and deadly force and when they can't. So the average person who's going to buy a firearm and take it to work thinking he's going to protect everybody at work, he's a long way from being competent to engage in a tactical shooting situation at work. He needs a lot of training that I would hope he gets. Now, that's why we came up with this seminar, to give people the information that they can develop a security plan, levels of alertness. So if there's an alert, what's the level of alertness? And when there's a level of alert, where do you go? What do you do? What things do you have? Do you have safe rooms? Do you have special locks on the doors? Just putting locks on glass doors doesn't work.
Right.
And that's, unfortunately, in a lot of schools, that's what they're doing now. They're locking the glass doors. They're locking the glass windows. Somebody's not thinking this through. That's why we came up with this seminar. That's why this seminar is a minimum of an hour and a half, more like 3 hours, because there's a lot of information that folks should know is available to them to develop a plan to protect themselves before they resort to the weapon of last resort, which is a firearm.
For somebody who may be watching this and says, you know, this may be something that our group, our organization, our church should really hear, how can they go about maybe coming to the college to hear it, or having you come to their facility? Well,
the next seminar that we're giving at the college is going to be given the 24th of July.
Okay.
That's during the week. It's going to start at 5:30. It's a 3-hour seminar. We'll probably get through a little early, but it's a 3-hour seminar, and we have a PowerPoint presentation, and we go through the whole thing. If somebody is interested in having us bring the seminar, and I just gave the seminar to a very large dental supply business. They have hundreds of employees. And once I gave them the seminar, then they were interested in having a security survey. See, so there are steps.
Right.
You see the seminar, you realize where your areas of your problem's going to be. Gee whiz, that glass door really isn't what we need there.
Right.
So, but what do we need? Well, let's hire somebody to do a security survey. We go in, we do a security survey, we'll give you a report, then it's up to you to decide which level of security you want and how you want to get it. But you should know what's available. That's what we'll do. Now you can give us a call at the college, and then we'll make arrangements to come out and give the seminar to your church, to your business, to your school, to your school board, wherever you feel you need it.
What do you in this program? What do you think is the biggest takeaway people have been getting so far about the world we live in today? We often say and joke, say, well, I used to be able to leave my doors open. You never locked your car, and you never did this, and people now say, well, I lock the windows before I go to bed now. I don't leave the downstairs windows open. All that. What do you think the biggest takeaway for people hearing this presentation is today, living in today's world?
We live in a violent society, and you just have to be alert to that and aware of that, and you have to make plans to prevent the violence from occurring around you. And if the violence does rear its ugly head and present itself around you, you have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you become a victim. Your business has to have a plan. I had a business up in Portland. They called me. They had a problem with a trucker. The trucker was waiting for a load, and the dispatcher made a mistake. He called in a trucker who had come in later instead of the trucker who had been waiting the longest. The trucker who was waiting the longest went berserk, took a firearm out of his truck and came into the business and was threatening everybody in the business. The owner of the business wanted his entire family, it's a family-run business, he wanted his entire family to learn how to shoot pistols.
Right.
I said, you have to go a long way before you reach that point. You should have safe rooms for your employees. You should develop a plan so that if something like this happens, your people know where to go and what to do. You don't have any bullet-resistant equipment here in the office. You should look into that. Getting those firearms and running around with a gun on your hip, that's the last thing you should be concerned with. You should develop a plan, and that's what we do. We give them all the information that they could possibly use and help them to develop that plan.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back here on Topic A. Stay with us here on WYLN.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
Go hog wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
Welcome back here to Topic A and WYLN. Charlie, we just have a little bit of time before we end the show. And I just wanted you to relay to everyone who's watching why it is so important to attend seminars like this one, learn as much as you can, and be educated in this topic, because it's not something that's going away tomorrow. We do live in a society where more and more we are seeing these acts take place. So why is it so important that we learn and we know how to treat one another and how to kind of watch out for things?
Well, you have to start to develop the opinion that people that do strange things, I did the research on this 14-year-old shooter. Texas just announced that they're going to be doing a school security thing. Mm-hmm. Kids are going to be able to go on the anonymously on the internet mm-hmm. and report other students, but they're missing the boat. You can report another student because you think the other student might be a little wacky, but until the other student actually does something, we live in a free society, and there's no way that you can actually prevent that student from doing something that he hasn't done. Mm-hmm. But we have to make things inconvenient for people to walk into a building and assassinate 50 or 60 people. There's a lot of things we can do. They do this to become notoriously mm-hmm. well known. Interestingly enough, the last 18 mass murderers in the United States, 18 mass murderers, and they killed somewhere in the neighborhood of 240 people. Only 2 of them used firearms.
Wow.
One was in the West Virginia at the university. Mm-hmm. He used a pistol. And then the other one was Malvo in Washington, D.C., and they were shooting people out of the back of a car. The other 16 mass murderers didn't even use firearms. So this quest to eliminate firearms from the discussion is bad. However, do I think everybody should carry a firearm? Yes, but I also think everyone should have a lot of training, a lot of training. I mean, I train all the time. Guys come to my range all the time. That's why we teach the Lethal Weapons Training Act to make sure people know the use of deadly force and the use of force. And if folks don't learn everything that's available to them before they get to the use of deadly force, when it comes time to use that deadly force, they may be in trouble. Because I will tell you, Gary, you use deadly force, you're going to jail.
And I just want to point out that if you are interested in the seminar, you can reach out to Charlie. Information's been up on your screen to either attend the one at the college, which is on July 24th.
July 24th at the college, okay. $25 a person. Okay. It's well worth it.
Wonderful. And if you wanted to go on the road, you can call Charlie as well, and maybe he can bring it to a facility near you. Charlie, thanks so much. We ran out of time, but I welcome you back anytime to
Gary,
talk about this.
This is important, and you recognized it, and I thank you very much for having me.
Again, be part of the solution, not the problem. Educate yourself. Learn all you can learn to help prevent something like this from happening. Thank you for joining us here on Topic, everyone. We'll see you next time on WYLN.